Hello, I'm Llewellyn King. Recently I asked you to send me your experience with insurance companies, with government assistance, with all of the terrible financial side of the consequences of having MECFS. And the mail is heartrending. Everything to do with this disease is heartrending, but some stories are worse than others. One is of a woman who lived for a while in a car, then had to live in a park, and you can imagine being deadly sick living in a park. There's so much stories about money plus MECFS, or to be exact, the lack of money plus MECFS. And largely the arguments are not with the insurance companies so much as they are with Social Security and disability benefits, because many are turned down. Examiners don't want to believe. One man, who I'm going to tell you a little more about in a moment, was turned down 3 times, and he sent me this picture of his life today, and it's like this. He gets $900 disability, but out of this he must pay $99 for Medicare, $540 rent, $134 in child support, $70 car insurance, $40 gas, with $17 left over for medication, and no room for error, no extra money. This is not just his story. This is the story that I have now received dozens and dozens of times. People have a big argument with getting Social Security disability, some because they were too young when they contracted the disease, others because it is a very difficult disease to prove that you have. A friend of mine in New York was recently stopped because she had not had her car inspected. She was on the way, but it was a year out of date. She hadn't been well enough to drive it. You tell that to the policeman, because if you look quite healthy, and so many people with MECFS look healthy, how are you going to persuade the policeman that you are actually very ill? Unlike diabetics who have little bracelets, etc., you are the victim of telling a long and complicated story that nobody wants to believe. My correspondent, the one who can just about make it, and who has lost his house, is trying to get another job, and he writes, as so many people, hating their situation, he writes, "I don't like being on government programs because I am unable to survive properly. If I can handle this job, I will once again be able to get food and other things needed to live on a daily basis." He is getting a job working at home doing medical coding. Plus, it will make me feel less of a failure. It was very hard to lose my home. It would be nice to once again be able to produce. I'm sorry, I'm not able to read this because of the dysphasia of the writer, which is a problem we have in dealing with this correspondent. People just find it very difficult to write letters. They write me wonderful letters that tear out my heart, and yet they make terrible mistakes in them. Here is a case in point. I wish this man and all of those tens of thousands of people suffering. I would just add that this is not just an American problem. One of the more touching letters I have, email actually, came from a translator who works for the European Union in Brussels, and she has been denied benefits and cannot now work as a translator. Every story involves bureaucracy, disappointment, hurt, suffering, privation. It is a shocking state of affairs. If we as a society cannot cure this disease, can't we at least help those who are indigent? Can't we find some basic services for them to get through their lives best they can with some modicum of dignity and comfort? I would have thought so. Thank you.
If you would like to sponsor MECFS Alert, please contact us at mecfsalert@gmail.com. Help us to help you.